I'm doing something different because I'm the black sheep of all my friends, okay? I'm doing a Lightseekers deck profile.
This is another one of those rare instances where we actually get to live up to the name Card Games United.
Yeah, he got two decks that he's profiling today, so that'll be pretty cool.
So, for starters, I'm going to do it hero, then combos, then normal cards. So yeah, for starters, my hero is Treanu. His ability is to heal the opponent for 3 and draw me 2 cards. So he starts at 30 health, and he has an affinity for forest, but that's not why I run him. I don't run him for the health, and I don't run him for the forest. I run him literally because of the draw power.
Yeah, which it seems like Lightseekers, that's kind of important since you have the choice to either play your combos or skip your draw phase, so I could see why this would be useful.
Yeah, and every starter deck hero, or almost every starter deck hero, comes with a draw engine for the starter decks. Okay, so onto my, do I want to move it? No, yeah, I want to move it. Onto my combos, okay? I just recently put in Nature's Fury as opposed to one of the other combos that I had that shuffles all the beast buffs back, or all the beast cards from my drop zone back into the deck. I forgot its name. I have Life Binding, okay? I have Beast Control, alright? I have Healing Rain and Living Whirlpool. So as you guessed it, I've mixed in some storm elements into this deck. So, yeah.
Are any of these cards particularly important to see? Anything really vital to your winning
okay,
image,
so
as we say in Vanguard?
So these 2 cards right here give me great healing. This one, when it's placed, I get 4 healing, then 4 again, then 5. And this one right here, I have to skip healing for 1 turn, but when I do heal for 4, then 4, then 4, I deal 1 damage to my opponent each time. So that's pretty good. Living Whirlpool, honestly, I like running dual color combos in dual color decks. That's the reason for Living Whirlpool. That, and it heals me and gets rid of all my opponent's buffs. And Beast Control, it's a little different. It has an attack ability, which is something that I get to choose whether or not I do, and that's to deal 7 damage on whatever corner it's on. And Nature's Fury, I replaced it because it wasn't dealing I replaced the other card because it wasn't dealing enough damage. So this one deals 8 damage and heals me for 4. So a lot of healing, a lot of damage. We're gonna make this great again. I run 3 Ashwood Nurturers. What these do is it allows me to get a beast card from my deck and add it to my hand. So it's a toolbox.
Nice.
Huh?
Nice. Toolbox is always good.
Yeah. I run 3 Corvid Conspiracies. Alright. It's a buff that deals 3 damage, 2 damage, and then 2 damage, and then expires. I run 3 Venom. What is this?
Vicious Scale Fang.
Or yeah, Vicious Scale Fang. Why did I say Venom? It deals 2 damage, then nothing at all. I'm a little high. Then 4.
Fun.
I run.
I thought for a second there you said he was high.
No. I've never done that before. Then I run 1 Spinebark Forager. I only run 1 because I don't have any more. But what he does is, I deal 2 damage to my opponent, and then I select a card, or a type of card. So I run a lot of beasts, as you could see by this marker over here. So basically, let's say I select beast, then me and my opponent both look through our drop zone to find a beast card, and then we add it to our hands. There's 2 different types that I run in this deck, so I can go either way. I run some beast cards, and I run some insectoid cards.
So it's kind of like Magician's Circle was back in the day in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're expecting to be able to pull something up and have your opponent not have a valid target.
Right. I mean, sometimes they do have the valid target. Like, in one of my games, my opponent tried playing this card. He was playing an Insectoid build, so he wanted Insectoid, and I just so happened to have Insectoid in my deck. So, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I run, speaking of Insectoid, 3 Canopy Creepers. If my 2 healing for me, and if my last discarded card was a beast buff, I get to play it from the discard pile. So, there's that. I run 2 Beast Callers. Whenever one of my beast buffs expires, I can put it to the bottom of my deck and draw a card. Also, this also works if my opponent's beast buff expires. I could still draw a card, but it doesn't get put to the bottom of the deck. It just gets put in the discard pile. So you got to be careful, I guess, for the opponent. 3. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's actually it for my forest buffs. Whoops. Or forest cards. 3 lumbering behemoths. It has clunky corners, so it doesn't rotate normally. But every time one of my other buffs expires, which I have a lot of short-lived buffs in the deck, so every time one of my buffs expires, it rotates 1 step forward. And then at the end of its rotation, it deals 8 damage to the opponent. And I just recently added one of these in, the spine back, spine back stock draw, yeah. 2 damage and restart one of my action buffs. So I could deal 2 damage to my opponent, restart this to basically make my opponent live his nightmare all over again. Restart, restart the Vicious Scalefang. Restart the Corvid Conspiracy. So yeah, there's a lot of things I can restart. Also, the final nature card that I run is Supply Carrier. Okay? I had 2 of these in the deck, and then I realized 2 of them is not very good. You only need 1. First of all, it's a beast card. Gives me 2 healing, and searches my... I'm allowed to search my deck. Yeah. Search my deck for up to 2 item cards and add them to my hand. So a typical turn 1 would be, I would play the Ashwood Nurturer, search out the Supply Carrier, then use the Supply Carrier to then add the items from my deck to my hand. I'm only running 2 items, so if my opponent has item removal, I'm screwed. Okay. Now for my items, alright, I run Bubble Relic and Sleepy Crab Staff. Basically all these do is they're 1 cost items, so they only take up 1 equipment slot. The limit's 2 equipment slots, by the way, and they just both have superiority in their respective elements, so I can use 2 of their water or wind cards in a turn. So there's that. Let's see. So I have, for the water ones, I have Safety Crab. At the end of its rotation, I get 2 healing and draw 2 cards. Bubblefish, which I just recently found out it's a beast, so I could search it out with some of my other cards. Hooray. Yeah, just damage prevention, so 2 damage, 3 damage, and then 3 damage prevention. Now it's time for my buff removal. I run 2 Thunder Slugs, which they remove a total of 3 buffs. When it's placed, it removes a buff, and then at the beginning of my turn, it removes 2 buffs. It has the burn, so if it reaches the drop zone, I can't get it back. But with the Beast card, Beast Caller, I could put this at the bottom instead of putting it in the drop zone. And Octopuff Oracle. I'm thinking about changing this out for something else. I don't know what I want yet, but I find that I don't really use combos all that much. Basically, when I play a combo, if it's on any of these circles right here, I draw 2 cards. So that's it. Okay.
Alrighty. Anything in particular you want to say about the deck?
Yeah, how it does in the meta, good matchups, bad matchups.
Okay, I don't really know of any good or bad matchups for this deck yet. It's still relatively new. However, from what I know, it's lost to the Insectoid archetype when I first built it. So there's that. I guess Insectoid is probably a little more aggressive than this. But when I built it, it has won against mountain decks. So I guess it has a favorable matchup against mountain.
Is there anything in particular you're trying to do with this deck? Is it aggressive, tempo?
Honestly, I don't really build my decks saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this aggressive or tempo or whatever. I build decks with a specific archetype or pattern in mind. So this one just so happened to be beasts. The next one I'm thinking about building is probably going to be a nature undead deck.
So this one is all about just the beast synergies and trying to get the most value out of those.
Right.
Okie dokie. Anything you want to say about Lightseekers as a game in case our audience is viewing this for the first time?
Yeah, I highly recommend Lightseekers. Even if you don't want to buy a box, it's a very inexpensive game. The most expensive card is only about $40. So, and you only need 1 copy of that card if you want to run dual colored decks. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right.
We're gonna have a gameplay video soon of it, so yeah.
Okie dokie. You want to sign out?
Ryan, signing out.